Good morning, everyone. We're going to continue our argumentative research plan. So if you really haven't done anything on it yet, you probably want to start at least today, so that way there's not as much to catch up on later in the week. Especially because if you're confused about any of the instructions, you have time today, tomorrow, and Friday to hop on Zoom and ask me, because waiting for email replies is just not going to cut it. So keep checking your grades. I'm updating them as much as I can. I'm still waiting on test grades because I still have a substantial amount of people that haven't turned it in. And I'm not going to waste my time only grading half. So let's get those in as soon as possible. Okay, so if you click on this link that says Argumentative Research Plan, it takes you back to Monday's folder where you can open up your document, or you can go through your Google Drive. Okay, so I modeled this box on Monday and Article 1. So if you have not done that yet, you need to go back and watch my video for Monday, okay? Because I'm not gonna slow down for that. I went at length with exactly how to fill it out with an example. So we're gonna look at Article 2, and I'm gonna share with you my example. Just a quick reminder, if you chose homework as your topic, you need to change that. Because I'm modeling through that, I don't feel like that's fair. You have an unfair advantage because I'm showing you how to do everything. So you can go through standardized testing and any other thing that you need to do. Again, there's just a couple of you, and I have told you that you need to email me if you've already started that, so we can work around that situation. Okay, so what I did, I went back to procon.org and I clicked on my topic and I went through and looked at what else I could possibly use. There's a lot of statistics on here, right? Excessive homework leads to cheating, which we see all the time. 67% admit to copying someone else's homework, which is frustrating, which means you don't find it useful. You find it pointless and not worthy of your time. Even parents take shortcuts. It's a whole thing. So I liked a lot of these things, but I ended up going to the resources because I wanted to see if there was something in any of these titles that was going to fit more along the lines of what I wanted to say. And so I found one from Stanford. It's right here, this Stanford survey of adolescent school experiences. I think that's it. Maybe. Nope, just kidding. It's Clifton Parker. Stanford research shows pitfalls of homework, and that's 2014. My apologies. So I just copied this again, and I pasted it in a new Google search so that I can find the exact citation, because that's the article that stood out to me. So here it is. It's this first one. And here's the article. And it's not too long. None of these articles are ridiculously long. It's got a lot of statistics in it. It's only got maybe 2 or 3, subsections. It's pretty simple. And all of the things that I'm looking for on here, especially when you survey over 4,000 students, I'm interested in student feedback. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one in my example. So here's the title, there's the link. These 2 sentences together I felt were the most important quote or facts. So the research quoted students as saying they often do homework, or when they do it, they see it as pointless or mindless in order to keep their grades up. There's another reason why should you be doing things on your own, with the exception of pandemic, obviously, because you have to, you don't have a choice. But this kind of busy work discourages learning, and I agree with that. When you get packets that you have to take home, who cares? When you're having to do, multiple assignments as practice, I understand the point of that. But within hours of homework, nobody's going to want to do that. I don't even want to do that. I don't even want to grade when I go home, which would be my homework. I want to be able to get it done at school because that's when I'm focused. That's where I need to get things done and be productive. When I go home, I'm in a different space. So again, it says right here, it promotes doing homework simply to get points, and that's not the point of education. So the summary, I used a quote in here this time around. So it says the author Clifton Parker discusses a Stanford researcher's finding regarding the limitations of homework based on a survey of 4,317 students from 10 high-performing high schools in upper middle-class California communities. So because that statistic came from the writing, I needed to put quotations around it. The study shows effects of too much homework on students that include greater stress, physical and mental health issues, and less time for family and social activities. So that's the middle, okay? The article concludes with showing that excessive homework is counterproductive and students need more balance with their school and social lives. So that's kind of what they conclude in the last two sections of the article. So how does it support my opinion, right? As a teacher, it's pretty controversial to be going against homework. So this article supports my opinion that homework is not entirely beneficial because it shows that most students continue to see it as pointless or just a way to get through it to get a passing grade. There seems to be no real learning happening when students complete work on their own. If that's the case, then it's clear that homework is something that to keep kids busy rather than to strengthen their academic skills, which I don't agree with, right? I agree with actual practice that's going to mean something and be valuable, but busy work for the sake of busy work, I'm not on board with, okay? And I think as a teacher, that gives me a lot of ethos, right? That gives me a lot of credibility because my credentials and my background and my education is all centered around how to teach and what's best for kids. And so if my expertise is telling me this, that's something when I put it all together, I really want to make sure that I bring forth. And so you as a student, if you're looking at standardized testing, that would be something that you can use to your advantage. If you are doing something a little more controversial, then you need to think about your position in the world, right? If you're talking about abortion and you're male, how does your situation in the world give you any sort of credibility? So you're going to have to be very careful about the sources that you use. Same thing on anything else that's controversial, right? You need to evaluate what sources you're using because I'm not going to believe you, and I'm going to have a really hard time taking you seriously if you don't establish credibility and what you've researched. So that is the goal of looking at these two articles that are going to support your opinion. Make sure they're solid. Make sure you understand what you're reading. And if you don't, you should be on Zoom so I can take you through the website and help you find things so that way you're not having to work harder, you can work smarter with my help. So once you've done that, you're going to do this discussion board again. It's the same idea, but it's the title of the article for the second supporting article. So this should not be the same thing you posted on Monday, and a direct link. I want to be able to evaluate the sources that you're using as well. And again, if you are still using homework as your topic, I have asked that you choose something else since my examples are already exploring that topic. And so make sure you get with me so that way we can brainstorm other ways. Doing this over email is not going to suffice. You need to be on Zoom because I have way too many emails to field, and you're going to get upset that I'm not getting back to you within a 24-hour time period. When I'm telling you that's not going to be my fault. I'm telling you right now, get on Zoom for 15 minutes, folks. It's not a lot of time, and we can get it done and it's over with. And you don't have to sit there and really harp through all this homework on your own. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today's assignment. Again, this discussion board verifies your attendance, okay? And on your research plan, please know that I can see what you're doing. I have documentation of whether or not you've even opened the assignment. So please at least open it. At this point, you have two solid examples of how to fill it out. All you have to do is open that up in a new tab and do exactly what I'm doing. Use this website to help you find your sources, okay? I look forward to seeing you guys on Zoom today. Take care.